In a land where conflict arises, sports are a much welcome break from reality. Here in Israel, it is a common pastime. Whether it's soccer or basketball, everyone cheers for the home team. The professional athletes in this land have deep-seated roots in a game they've played since early childhood.
This is my basket. This is a bomb shelter. For me, it was a great option to put the basket on and practice.
This is where I started playing. But I said, well, why not? I like basketball. I will try to chase it while I can.
It's my first love from, really young age. Me and my father used to play at my house. I had a small basket, and it's all start from there, the passion and the love for the game.
It was my dream since I started. That's what I was aiming for.
Since I remember myself, I remember me playing basketball. Because of my brother, I just loved it. I wanted to do it every day.
The reward for their toils can be a spot on the roster of a professional team, but there are no guarantees. Here are the stories of some who have made it through. The seeds of a basketball life are sown early. From the U.S. playgrounds to those in lands all over the world, young people are drawn to the game in much the same way. For most, basketball offers a way to pass time, establish social circles, gain an identity, compete. At an early age, most Israeli youth are introduced to sports through the Maccabi World Union, an international Jewish organization spanning the globe in over 50 countries, similar to the YMCA and JCC of the United States. For over 100 years, Maccabi Haifa has been one of the biggest athletic clubs in Israel, a place for kids to participate in a variety of sports.
Maccabi Haifa is a great family and a great club, of course, not only in Haifa, also in Israel. Like Maccabi Tel Aviv, they are the two great clubs in Israel. I know that many boys, maybe also girls, have a lot of problems in the family, in the school, in the streets, and we don't know what will be with them without sport.
Brothers Tamir and Laraz Arieli, natives of Haifa, grew up in the Maccabi Youth Club. They pursued a playing career, climbing through divisions until they reached Israel's top professional league.
Maccabi has two programs. They started here when I was 7, and in the schools and after 2 years I came over here, and since then I'm here till I was 18. In the beginning I was a little bit more talented than the others, and I liked it so much, so I kept going and kept working on it and tried to improve myself. After he saw me playing, he loved it as well and just started playing.
When I started to play in a real team in Hapoel Tel Aviv, I was in first grade. I was very small and tiny, but I know that, if I'm playing with 4 years older than me, I'm okay. They beat me up and I learned to be tough.
In Israel, the hows and whys of the game's childhood attraction can be as unique as the region of the country in which they were raised. Dedication to mastering the game's skills and intricacies can be a way out or into a life imagined.
I played in this team almost in all the leagues. And we started at the 4th division, I think. After 1 year, we advanced to the 3rd. We beat the 3rd division, advanced to the 2nd. Every year they would tell us, this is a team from the kibbutz, the guys don't get paid, we won't have a chance in the big leagues. We started playing, the gym was packed, full, no place to sit even. We started the season 10-0. If it wasn't basketball, I might be working here, knee-deep in. Basically here it's for the love of the game.
those living near the borders and conflict zones, the basketball journey is quite unusual, but still embraced.
Two different things that build me as a person. First of all, is a big bomb shelter. We're right on the borders with Lebanon on the north, Syria on the east. I grew up when rockets was falling from Lebanon. I never feel sorry for myself. And the best thing about my life is basketball. All this region, the upper Galilee, is known as like the mecca of the basketball in Israel. All the best players in the Israeli basketball in the last 30 years came to get better and perform in the local team here, which name was Hapoel Galil Elyon. The most popular name is Omri Caspi, who plays for the Sacramento Kings right now. Also Doron Shefer, played for the University of Connecticut in the early 90s. He made his step up of his career here in this area. It's a very unique place because it's a small area and there is not a lot of city life. So young players like to come over here just to concentrate only on basketball. I have to say, for the players who came to play here, that they put the military situation of Israel on the side. And when they concentrate on basketball, they had a great success.
We had a small basket out of plastic in our home, and he had some friends coming over to play, and I just tagged along, I played with them. I usually got beaten up by him. He was a bad brother back then. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, they still didn't fix it. Yeah, they didn't fix it yet.
Even when he needed help or I needed help, he was there for me every time, practice-wise, mentally-wise, everything. Yeah, it's great to have a big brother who's a basketball player and can help you. And the mistakes he made, I knew them from before, so I had a good back, good memories.
Tamir and Liraz Arieli have played basketball their whole lives. The brothers had hoop dreams like most kids, but playing professionally together for their hometown team, neither dared to dream that high.
It's quiet street, the most noisy house, it's our house. And here it's where the magic happens.
Yeah, basically here it starts.
And when we were young, every night it was like, yeah, come and pass me the ball, come and pass me the ball, all night long. So after a few years, I told him, no, you gotta pass me too. I just can't come out, pass you the ball, and I get nothing.
Yeah, there were good times. Everything was so easy.
We had one of our players injured. We needed someone instead of him, and I got the word. My brother is one of the nominees, so he told me. He asked me how I think about it. I told him, it's a good opportunity for you, you gotta come.
Well, we talked about it before I signed. If we're cool with that and we're gonna be okay. And now it's just like, it's obvious for us because it seems like the right thing to do.
On the court, the Arielis had hopes of helping their team, Maccabi Haifa, return to winning ways. After a bumpy start to the season, the Greens got back on track as 2014 came to a close. Maccabi Haifa had improved their record to 8-9 after winning 7 of 9. February was not as kind. A loss to Hapoel Holon was followed by a game against league-leading powerhouse Maccabi Tel Aviv. Haifa desperately needed a win. They couldn't have asked for a better start, posting a 26-11 lead at the end of the first. However, Tel Aviv mounted a comeback, outscoring Haifa 19-4 to close out the half, 41-36. The Yellows didn't let up in the second half. Rallying, Tel Aviv escaped with the win. A grudge match followed a week later in the Israeli Cup semi-final as the two teams faced off again. With 1 minute left in regulation, the Greens found themselves up by 5. They had Tel Aviv right where they wanted them. Suddenly, the Yellows erased the lead as Brian Randall tipped in the game-tying basket to force overtime. The two teams were locked in a back-and-forth battle, but Haifa couldn't keep up the pace, falling 90-87, eliminating them from the State Cup. The losses were tough, and Maccabi Haifa would have to regain their composure as they returned to the Winter League schedule, hoping to mount a run back to the playoffs. Maccabi Tel Aviv would go on to win the Israeli Cup and earn the top spot in the Winter League standings. Hapoel Jerusalem surged to second place. Not far behind them is Hapoel Holon, who is having a strong season. Leading the league in scoring by a resounding margin is Neziona's Craig Smith. Israeli Raviv Lamanad of Hapoel Tel Aviv is leading the league in assists. Isaac Rosefeld continues to dominate the boards with nearly double figures. David Blatt made a name for himself around the globe as the head coach of Maccabi Tel Aviv, winning multiple local and national championships. His accomplishments did not go unnoticed by the NBA, as he landed the head coaching job with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Blatt went undrafted out of Princeton in 1981. He saw an opportunity to play in his cultural homeland, and he began his pro career with Maccabi Haifa. In northern Israel, Blatt found a land of striking beauty, a land of war and strife, and an 11-year-old Ido Kozikaro who dreamed of playing hoops.
Wow, cold. I love this water. I grew up on that river, on the Chazbani. We have no swimming pool in my village, so it's an amazing feeling during the summer when it's really hot to get into this very cold water. And what's very special about this spot is that this is actually the beginning of the Jordan River, which is a very famous river for the religion point of view of the Christians, Jewish. This is where it all starts. This is my amazing mom. She said that to feed me is more expensive than to dress me. She's my biggest supporter. But she was there for me, always, always.
I was believing him.
This is where David Blatt used to live, back in the days.
I was looking for a place to live. And the moment I walked in the home, and then the moment when I walked downstairs to see the very, very small little apartment that they had, I knew I was in the right place because it just felt good and felt right.
For myself, it was amazing because first of all, I've seen David, I see how he lives, what is the routine of a professional basketball player.
I made very good friends in the Kozikaro family and Ido in particular.
David used to be part of my family, still kind of part of my family. And I used to practice with him here. I think I did a good job because he's a good coach now. This is my basket. This is a bomb shelter. Behind those rocks is very powerful concrete. It's supposed to protect us from everything.
Growing up hearing rockets fall in his backyard, Ido was naturally drawn to the history of this conflict that years later still threatens his homeland.
This is a fortress called Kalat Namrud. It's a fortress from the Crusaders' day. And it's just another example of people who fight for this piece of land. Because the Syrians used to bomb these villages and kibbutzes almost on a daily basis, and people get killed here. So we knew that we have to liberate this piece of land, and that's what happened. This bunker was the gate to the Golan Heights in the 6 Days War. They put here the Golani Brigade, which is one of the best infantry units, and it was lots of casualties here. And these people pay with their life that I will grow up peacefully, some kind of peacefully. We are inside the bunker, just for example, how it looks and how it feels, and what kind of point of view they have. That's what the Syrian bunker. And think about you have a machine gun here, and you see the Israeli soldiers are climbing. Over there, it's the mountains, it's Lebanon. And on the right side, on the east, we have the Syrian border. And we are stuck in the middle.
A determined Ido was not going to let war overshadow the other reality of his youth, the dream of playing basketball.
This is lots of old memories. That's me, and this is David. My dream was to be a basketball player, and I saw that dream is falling apart, and it's not gonna happen. I came to David and I asked him, like, David, do I have a really chance to be a professional basketball player? I might have a chance. He didn't promise me anything. When I look back, I appreciate it because he didn't lie to me.
You know, I tried to impress on Ido when he was a young kid was the importance of really dedicating himself to the game and to really working hard.
He gave me a very, very hard time as a young player.
I told him that he should write on a piece of paper 5 goals, short-term and long-term, that he wanted to accomplish, and to put it up on his mirror.
Ido Kozikaro achieved the goals he set out for himself years ago. It would be the start of a long but very successful journey.
So my first goal was to be a legitimate player in the junior team. I was kind of a water boy. You see everybody got numbers on the shirts? There's one without a number because I didn't play.
His time as a water boy paid off. Within a few seasons, he earned a spot in the Israeli Super League, making his professional debut for Hapoel Gil Elyon in 1996. 2 years later, Ido secured a spot on the U22 national team, adding a check mark to the 3rd goal on his list. Goals which he once thought were unrealistic were now coming to fruition.
Of the many, many, many players that I've coached in my career, probably maximized his potential as a basketball player more than anyone else I've ever had.
In 2003, Ido signed with Hapoel Jerusalem, where he cemented a key role on the team and led them to become the ULEB Cup champions in 2004. His years as the team's water boy were far behind him, as Ido was now the face of the franchise.
For that kid that wrote this note, to be a national team player is like, I will tell you that in 3 years you're gonna walk on the moon.
Ido's 5th and final goal came to life when he debuted with the Israeli national team in the 2001 European Championships. He would go on to represent his country in 4 more after that. The relationship between Kozikaro and Blatt came full circle when they faced off in the 2012-2013 Israeli Super League Finals. Ido was a player with Maccabi Haifa, and Blatt is the head coach of Tel Aviv.
Last 3 seconds of the game, 2-1-0 is over. Maccabi Haifa is the new championship of the Israeli Premier League.
When we won the championship, David came to me and gave me a hug, a brother hug. And I told him, David, I think we closed the circle.
My relationship with Ido goes deeper than one game, or deeper than the 100 games that we've played in. But I give Haifa a lot of credit for making the finals 2 years in a row. And that says a lot. That says a lot about the program. And Ido in particular. He was not born to be what he became. He just worked for it, without any compromise and without any give whatsoever. And he, without question, is a guy that absolutely maxed out on his potential.
This is the place. My junior team, when David was my coach, was here. I practiced here. I had tough coaches, but nobody was so specific and so focusing on the small things of the game like David. He taught me how to be a team player, a good team player, who's not afraid to sacrifice for the team. This is the Hall of Fame. In this picture, that's me on the bench watching this action. David Blatt, player, coach now. Doron Sheffer played for University of Connecticut, one of the best point guards in the college history. This guy was like my second father. His name is Yitzchak. He was a legendary team manager, junior team manager. And he always pumping me in my head that doesn't matter how good you are in basketball or bad, the most important thing in life is to be a human being, to be a good person. And he was a great person. Bye.
As the career of an Israeli legend comes to an end, over in Haifa, the careers of two brothers with similar hopes for success are just beginning.
Can you make me a protein shake? Bring us some banana.
I don't think we ever dreamt it was going to be like that. Being a basketball player in Israel, it's tough. It's not that easy. And two brothers from the same house, from the same spot, growing up together, and both of us going to the same team, yeah, definitely. We talk about it. We're lucky to have it.
It was kind of weird in the beginning, and I didn't know how it will be, but it's the same. Like, we're basically all the time together. Maybe in a few weeks or month, I can't see him anymore, but you know, for now it's okay.
Going off to practice. Let's go.